right. And I think we are live. All right. Welcome, Andrew, to the channel. I appreciate you joining me here. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to learn a little bit about what you do, what your thoughts are on the stock market right now. And if anyone who isn't aware of Andrew, he has a YouTube channel here where he breaks down all things, stock market, data science, tech, things like that. It's definitely worth a follow. His channel is linked in the description. But welcome, Andrew.
Thank you so much, dude. A long time ago, when I was a week ago, I was at 10,000 subs. The week before that, I was at 5,000, and that was the week that you watched my video, and everyone in the live stream got so hyped when you pulled up my video. I got so hyped. So first of all, big fan. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm always happy to highlight good stuff, and that's crazy. So in 2 weeks, you've gone from 5,000 to 20,000 subs.
Yes. And the week and the week and a half before that, I was at like 2,000-3,000. So it's been exponential for the last 4 weeks.
That is awesome. Pretty much just from stock market type content.
Exactly. So before that, I was almost entirely data science, career-driven tech content.
Wow. Okay. So how long did it take you to get to like 2,500, 3,000 subs? How long were you posting for?
Oh, I started on Father's Day of 2020. So easy to remember because that's like Data's Day, like Data Day.
Okay.
So it's been almost 10 months now.
And was this your first YouTube channel?
Yes. My first YouTube channel. Is this your first YouTube channel? I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it is. But it took me about a year to get 3,000 subscribers of consistent posting, and my 2-year anniversary is in a couple days here. So I finally figured it out after about a year. But yeah, that's awesome. So that didn't take you too long to figure things out.
It was just a constant grind, and I think part of the reason is I'm very lucky to be in a company that doesn't like work me to the bone. So I have extra time during the day. I also am a very type A personality, so if I'm not working, I'm not 100% happy. So at the same time, those two things combined with enough time and enough rigor, I think you just mentioned it. Consistency is a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, stocks are hot right now, so it was like the perfect time to post the stock market content. Also, I got to say, your backgrounds are always killer with the lighting. You got the dog in the background. You're doing it right there.
It's because, well, big shout out to my best friend Hector. He was a person that was helping out at the very beginning, helping out through the middle, and honestly, with a lot of the editing, the very bare bones of the editing was done by him. And the fact that I can use the living room of our 2-bedroom apartment here is a huge bonus. And he's giving me a kombucha right now, so big cheers to him.
Go. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, like we were just saying off screen that I cannot believe your dog just hops up there, and you said he learned it in just a couple days. That's hilarious.
Yeah, this is Professor Meatball.
Professor Meatball.
His name.
We said it too soon. People are loving the meatball here in the chat. That's funny. So yeah, I wanted to learn a little bit for myself and everyone listening. What exactly is a data scientist?
Great question. Let me get a treat for Meatball so that he, one, gets rewarded for showing up to this co-live stream, and two, so that he can come back up here. Meatball is a data professor. He has his PhD dog from the University of Cornell, and what he does on a day-to-day basis is a combination of three things, right? It's the schools of thought of economics, the schools of thought of statistics, and then of computation. So if you study computer science back in the day, you probably were building things, maybe JavaScript, maybe C++. Most of the time, data scientists, if they're building something, is something called a data pipeline, which is trying to connect one piece of data, maybe something scrapes the stock market, and then trying to connect it to the next piece, which is feeding it to a Tableau dashboard, or maybe feeding it into an Excel sheet, or maybe feeding it to a product manager that needs to see an indicator change. So that's one piece of a data scientist's job. The other piece is to be able to forecast and build models that understand with historical data, can you get the next piece of the information based on patterns that a model can recognize? And that comes back to the school of thought of machine learning, which is generally just calculus and linear algebra. So those two ideas combined makes every single Sims AI, every single video game AI that you've seen so far, and also is one of the machine learning bots that predicted 130,000 for GME a couple of days ago. So that's another half, and finally the last half. If it's not data pipelining or visualization, if it's not machine learning or forecasting, the final half of data science is explaining to a non-technical stakeholder all of these concepts through education. And that's why I started a YouTube channel, because I just wanted to build on that education that I already do on a day-to-day basis, but for a much larger audience.
Right. So to put this in stock market context, let's say for a data scientist, you're getting this massive amount of data, and then your job would be to parse which parts of that data are relevant to whatever you're trying to figure out, whether the price is going to go up or down, sideways, left, right, and then you create some kind of algorithm code or whatever that makes assumptions based on that data, and then whether that assumption is correct or not, you further that algorithm or however that works.
Exactly, and sometimes it's called reweighting a machine learning model, or you could also change the hyperparameters. There's a lot of different ways you can change how a model performs under the hood.
So what kinds of things do you personally build, like on a day-to-day basis? Are these stock related? Is it something completely different?
Yeah, I can talk briefly about it. I can't go into too much detail,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I work for a cryptocurrency data science company,
Okay.
and it mainly works on the fact that there is an economy here in the crypto sense, that there is a supply and demand, and the price of the cryptocurrency goes up and down. It's the only commodity that is traded on this market. So I have to understand, one, what is the some economics people might know this as a Gini index. What is the fairness of the economy that we are building? And then if it's not fair, if let's say 1% of the population has like 95% of the wealth of the cryptocurrency, then how do we as econometrics people change that to become more equitable so that the economy functions like a normal, fair and balanced free economy? So the other half of it is making sure that we bust fraud. So a lot of the models that I've been working on is detecting outliers and fraudulent activity, just bad actors that would want to do things to the models that already exist, and what sometimes in order to change the Gini index to be more favorable, we need to give money away for free. So bad actors could easily take advantage of that, and that's the kind of fraud that I also try to bust.
So what is fraud in the crypto context? Is this people trying to steal other people's accounts, or like pump and dump kind of thing, or what exactly is going on there?
There's two main types of fraud, and you mentioned it. Is one would be trying to use bots to inflate the price of the stock, or in this case, it would be the price of the cryptocurrency, and that's something that's a lot easier to find because there's only 2 or 3 ways you could actually manipulate the price of the crypto in that way. The other way would be trying to take advantage of sign up offers, or when you first create a wallet or create an account, you might be able to get extra free cryptocurrency. If you sign up for multiple free accounts, like hundreds of free accounts, you could then dump all of that free, like you have a BlockFi link, you have a Webull link. If you open like 100 accounts, you could dump all of those free stocks that you get into just one account, and that would be a fraudulent activity as well.
Okay. So I suppose you can't really talk to who the companies you work for, or what exactly they do, I assume.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my profile low as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. So this is like your 40-hour per week job is data analysis for crypto specifically.
Correct.
So how do you balance that job with your YouTube? Because I know you're posting stuff constantly, and everything else that you do. Uh-oh, you there? Andrew, you there? You might be frozen. All right, we'll see if he comes back online here. Do, 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 do. Uh-oh. We'll give it a minute, see what happens. Oh, he just messaged me and said his Wi-Fi cut for a second, so hopefully he can join back in, and we'll give him a minute. So in the meantime, all right, let me just text him. Oh, here he is. There we are. No problem.
I'm working on getting a better connection, so I think that was entirely my bad. Let's see. So I'm a little high. Oh, it's because I'm using the wrong camera. 1 second.
No problem.
Can you
switch that over?
work on that?
What was that?
Repeating your question.
Oh, yeah. I'll wait for you to come back online here. You hear me?
Yes.
Go. So my question was, how do you balance that full-time data science job? By the way, data scientist, that's a cool job title. Anything scientist is cool. But how do you balance that with your YouTube career? I mean, I don't know how many videos you post, but it's very consistent.
Yes. And the answer is, as someone who has like half a decade, closing in on a decade worth of experience, you have the privilege to be able to move your schedule around. So I would try to move things around of non-live stream hours. So that's the first, like, logistically, how do I even make the time fit? The other side of it is that I try and bundle the amount of work that I need to do. And this is when I wasn't doing as consistent live streams, I would be doing bulk uploads. And I'm as a YouTuber for longer than I have, I'm sure you also did that for a while. And the final half of it is that the reason why I wanted to teach people data science is because data science is one of those jobs that is not an engineering job by the sense that if something breaks, it's not your job to wake up at like 2 a.m. in the morning and have to fix it. You're the person designing the ambulance, but you're not the person driving it. And that's the most important part, is that when there's a fire, when there is an emergency, the engineer is the one that has to deal with a P0, which is something that is a very high priority bug. But the data scientist can sit back and wait until tomorrow. That's the biggest reason why.
That's nice. So is this something that you frequently talk about, how this is kind of like a more lifestyle type tech job?
100%. And oftentimes people, want to work themselves into the grave. They say, I want to be a lawyer, a doctor, I want to be a consultant or an iBanker. And those 4 occupations are always going to be like a linear amount of time to money, right? You're going to put all your time in, and then you're going to get a ton of money out. However, data science is all about scaling, right? Engineers build things, but they have to keep building. They just scaffold, and there's always something more to build. For data science, if I can automate a script, if I can do it automatically instead of having to do it manually every time, then I just saved tens of hours for myself. And I just, and there's not a lot of occupations that are exactly like that.
Is there anything that you automate with YouTube? Your own scripts?
Let me think about that. No, I was thinking about using script to use the YouTube API to hop on that trend. If you were familiar, I think Tom something is a British guy that made a video that says this video has currently this many views, and he used the YouTube API to update the title of the video over and over. I was thinking about doing that to hop on the trend, but the amount of work it would take to pump out one video is just inversely proportional to a live stream, for example.
Right, that makes sense. How about in your daily life? Do you write scripts to automate various tasks?
The closest I've gotten was I needed to get a there's a script that gets you New York Stock Exchange data with like 2 lines of Python. And when it comes to be that easy, you can easily feed that NYSE data to like an email. And that's the closest I got to actually trying to automate some part of my life. As it turns out, I didn't like to read an email with just a random Python script worth of data. So that's why Webull and everything else makes it a little easier to visualize what's happening with the stock market.
Right. I'm surprised you don't automate more, because about a year and a couple months ago, I learned some basic Python. And I built a program just to use at my business. I just scrapes addresses and then sends it to a spreadsheet, and we can just mail out flyers with that, off of like Zillow and other websites. That's cool. As soon as I built that, I was like, okay, I need to try and figure out how I can automate literally everything I possibly can. I didn't end up automating much, but you know, I messed around with various things, you know, that seemed cool to do, you know.
It's so accessible too. Like anyone can cook. I seem to be using this analogy a lot today, but like ratatouille, anyone can cook. Well, if cooking was like automating your life and making it easier, that's Python, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I took like a $10 course. I think it's called How to Automate Everything with Python or something like that.
Yep.
It was so worth it. It took about 20 hours to do, and I literally built a program that made me, you know, about $1,000 a month
Wow.
with the business. So it was pretty cool to do. So I've always been interested in, you know, that kind of more you know, code based things, but now I have many other things to take care of every single day.
I know on your channel, one of the videos that you've pinned is you like made $30,000, right, or something like that, out of like cold calling 500 people.
Yeah, it wasn't cold calling; it was just walking into businesses.
Walking into businesses.
Yeah.
So have you ever thought about like a automation of that process too?
Yeah, I mean that's potential. The reason that the cold walk-ins work so well is because it's the opposite of automation. So I think there's kind of a value in both. Like the reason I think it worked is because no one is doing that. You know, it's stressful. You're going to get rejected. It's a lot of work, and I think that's why it worked. Where, you know, sending an email is as easy as can be. But of course, there's, you know, there's ways to make those kinds of things work. But that business, my moving company, isn't necessarily something that's really easily automated in any way. Like something that, you know, selling a digital product or something like that might be.
I agree. I'm also half listening because the chat is screaming about GME is at $125 right now.
All right, let's pull that over.
And shout out to Adric. He says he knows me personally. That's not true, but I do like Adric.
So GameStop here. Oh yeah, it's popping off. You can see this, right, Andrew?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, cool. How about the volume? About almost 600,000 volume in the last full minute. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
GME had a squeeze date prediction of March 19th. The person that predicted that date came on my show, and we had a series of interviews with him. He is now going into hiatus because he has a dog and his wife's boyfriend to care about. And look at that perfect number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a squeeze-worthy number right there.
That's right. So why March 19th? I heard that date floating around a few times, but I didn't have the time to check it out yet.
I will give as simple of a synopsis as possible while we look at GME. HIT seems like it's being rejected by 120 plus and change. But the reason why, and now it's starting to be called into question, because I also read a counter DD about how March 19th could be a trick or a trap or or at the very least, like, could be misguided. So remember, take this with a grain of salt. The three main reasons are: one, we are expecting a ton of volume on March 19th. It is a quadruple witching day where 4 different markets have their contracts expire at the exact same time. It does happen 4 times a year. So one of the counter DD points is, if you do want to go back and look at what happened like 3 months ago, you could see if the squeeze was squeezable back then. The next point is that XRT, which is an ETF that is hiding, some would say, a lot of the shorted GME shares, needs to, or perhaps really wants to, post its dividends on a regular cadence, and the next time it should post is March 19th. And that is that has also been called into question, because usually XRT posts its like a date that it will post dividends 2 months or a month at least early, and now it's only 3 weeks away, and it still hasn't put out a date of when it's going to post its dividends. So that doesn't seem like it follows the trend. And then finally, at that date is when there is an AI. So before I talk about the final point, there is an AI that predicts that GME will try to rise to 130,000 sometime around that date. Probably more conjecture than anything. I haven't even read the code for that, built out that model, so I can't really support that. But GME is posting its own earnings a couple of days after. So we would support let's say like a first or second booster from all of the points that we made before. It would be sustained growth if the earnings report is good.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, it seems like every week there's a new day that's like Tuesday's the day, Friday's the day, and this is kind of like the ultimate that's the day, it seems like.
This is something that I called, because of XRT specifically, something that I called like 2 weeks ago. And now, not only because of XRT and all these other reasons, that is now becoming the day. The reason why it's dangerous, and I'm getting so excited watching the price of GME. So I'm watching and I'm talking at the same time, which is one of my
No problem.
my talents. The reason why March 19th is so tempting to call, but at the very same time so dangerous, is because it brings a lot of retail investors or people who are not even invested yet a lot of composure, a lot of calm that isn't possibly deserved. For example, we already saw that when you have high expectations, you are likely to be burned back in the congressional hearing. When Deep Effing Value or Roaring Kitty showed up in Congress, the price of GME actually rose 10% during his screen time. So in the course of like 30 seconds, it rose 10%, and then it dropped as easily because people were like, wait, I thought something great was going to happen, and then nothing happened.
Right.
The most important part of March 19th is if people have their expectations too high, a lot of paper handlers could get impatient, and then they could actually end up causing the mother of all short attacks instead of the mother of all short squeezes.
And it could, now that you say that, it could potentially be a classic buy the hype, sell the news scenario, where if everyone's thinking March 19th is the day, they buy in, they hold. March 17th might be the day, and you could have a big sell-off right before March 19th.
Yes, that is also very likely. The week before March 19th could be very, very hyped. At the very least, we know for a given, since it's a quadruple witching day, that volatility and volume is going to be the play that week. And I can't imagine how many people, including Melvin and the unknown institutions, are just crapping their pants right now, pardon my language, thinking about that day.
Yeah, I imagine. Melvin claims that they no longer hold a short position, but that's not. They could just say that, and it'd still be held privately.
Right.
So AMC looks like they're doing pretty darn good as well. We just saw a small sell-off.
AMC is currently being basically resisted by a level of resistance that I put up earlier today on my live stream. 914 is the level of resistance that I was calling. Seems like it is getting stuck right around that number.
Yeah, I think we were saying 909 was a potential resistance point as well, right around the same. And 940 was one too. It was bouncing against quite a bit this morning.
So AMC is in a different situation because of just how much less short interest there is, according to the last FINRA report. So we're not as hopeful for a full squeeze, but in the short sense, maybe a gamma squeeze for the number of call options that exist out there. But for GME, the short squeeze is still the biggest play in the game.
Right. Yeah, I think AMC might have the chance to be like a potential Tesla, where the price is extremely high, but it just keeps on going up because people are just buying and holding. Like whenever I do a stream, it's so many people are just holding on to AMC, and they've been holding for, a month and a half. And they're just like, well, I'm just holding now. I think partially and due to how cheap each share is.
Right.
But it just seems to me like with all these people holding, the price is just bound to go up. Obviously the supply and demand equation is there.
I think that with the amount of like publicity that GME has, it's just a completely different equation. Like the more people have their eyeballs on it, the more it grows. This is the Bitcoin sort of situation. I noticed that it's on your watch list too. Back like last weekend or even yesterday, I think it was all the way down to 43,000. So now it just grew 5,000 more in the course of a day. The entire market is green. It kind of gives me pause. Like every major haircut or sell-off that happened last week has been made up for. So is this the big bubble growing right before the burst, or were we stupid to worry about it to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? Because if you look at any indicator of overvaluation of like the S&P 500, it's screaming right now overvalued. But also we have to remember that sentiments have changed as well. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think one policy was driving a lot of the growth for a while. For example, the cannabis sector was mainly based around the idea that Joe Biden's administration would be okay with these companies growing, and especially with APHA and TLRY merging. In the end of it, it turns out that when we are comparing these, like, I would say meme stocks. I would say that cannabis is also a meme stock. These meme stocks are getting a lot of recognition for these very first time investors. It is scary to imagine how they can be easily scared off, and they're not like rational, normal investors that would trade on the margin.
Yeah, that's a great point. And something I've brought up so many times, that if there were to be a squeeze, let's say with GameStop, just for instance, and it squeezes up to $400, all these individuals are just going to hop off along the way, especially because so many people have been burned before. So it's really like, the real question is, can we all team up and like a bunch of smooth-brained apes and make this thing happen?
It's the ultimate prisoner's dilemma. As we go up, everyone has their own exit strategy, right? And the biggest thing that I can say, with the big caveat, this is not financial advice, is always minimize regret. If you are planning on maximizing profit, you're going to get burned on the way up. You never know when it's going to go back down. Even Volkswagen squeeze had a definitive, like, you should sell by this number. So if you were planning on 1,000, if you're planning on 100,000, you are just likely going to be burned on the way up. Have plans of, if it goes to this price, I'll sell 5%. If it goes to this price, I'll sell 15%. And that way, you might not be making the most possible amount of money, but then at the very least, you won't be completely burned on the way back down.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that's the sane way to do it, but if everyone's sane, it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you said, it is literally textbook prisoner's dilemma. This should be like be taught in schools in 5 years from now as an example of the prisoner's dilemma. That's a perfect analogy.
We're making history. This is history right before our eyes.
So we're seeing that same resistance here on GameStop, floating right around, not a super defined resistance point, but between 127, 128 and a half ish.
Yeah, it tried to make it there on Friday, and was rejected a couple of times. And funny enough, that is the only time that it was rejected at this specific price, other than today, of course. There is just not a lot of points of resistance and support for GME. It just seems like a free fall between here and like $60. So like $100 and then all the way down to 60. That's why it's scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the catalysts are so odd to me. Like you said, DFV in that hearing says, I like the stock. Then later on, he says he's doubled down on his position. You don't see the stock change that much, and you would think that would be like magic to everyone who's holding. They'd be like, all right, I'm going all in if he's going all in. And then the CFO is going to be resigned later this month. And I don't even know if that was the catalyst or not, or if it just happened to be at the same time. But then GameStop jumps up 200%. It's like, how do these things? It's literally anyone's guess.
It was Cohen's ice cream cone, is what I'm going to say.
What was that? I don't even think I saw that.
So he tweeted, Ryan Cohen is the CEO. I think he's just a founder of Chewy, and he has a big stake in GameStop right now. He tweeted out a ice cream cone from McDonald's, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is because March 20th, which is the date now to look at. McDonald's has like something about an ice cream giveaway, and that was indication enough that GameStop should go, and did it. And it did
worse." That's even worse. Yeah. So you just said March 20th is now the day?
Well, once again, there is a lot of counter DD for that day, right? March 20th is a Saturday, and March 19th is a Friday. So that Friday is a quadruple witching day. That Friday is when a lot of contracts expire. That Friday is when, if the price of GME continues to rise, a lot of those contracts are going to be in the money. And if they exercise, we're looking at a mother of all gamma squeezes.
and that would either happen, or it would either prime pre-market or happen as soon as market open on Monday. Is that what's being said?
That's what is likely going to happen. If it doesn't happen the week leading up to the 19th, then it should happen the week after. However, once again, everything out of my mouth was data from a day ago. Just 19 hours ago, or I guess now it's been like 20 hours, a new counter DD I'm about to upload on my channel. It basically says March 19th has a ton of holes in it, and almost none of the evidence that points to March 19th holds up. So every day we get new entries.
Well, make sure you go subscribe to Andrew's channel to watch that video when he posts it.
I appreciate that.
Let's see if I can line this up in such a way, because this is a better view if we can angle it just so.
Yeah. Making moves, making positions. If you guys do like me chilling on this awesome channel, I want to come back on a regular cadence enough, but in 5 minutes, I am going to have to hop off and get on over to my live stream on my channel to check out AMC and GME. GME still like poised to close at 30% up. That is the biggest rise since 100% up on the day. That's crazy.
Right. So I guess before we go here, I just wanted to ask if there's any other equities that you're looking at, stocks that you're looking at that are your favorites aside from, this AMC, GameStop.
I am very bullish on Palantir. I did a whole technical analysis on that before. Palantir just, data is king. And for right now, it's a discount that it was at a couple of days ago. It was on sale, essentially. And the fact that a lot of the contracts that it has are government contracts. If you plan on the U.S. government going defunct soon, I guess Palantir is not the stock for you. But otherwise, I think that is a high value stock in the near future. In terms of stocks that are always on my radar, Amazon, I'm constantly looking at. Apple, I'm constantly looking at. Disney, I am interested in Disney and how it's going to perform in the near future. But outside of those like obvious choices, Tesla and NIO and the EV sector is something I'm going to be taking a closer look at as well.
Are there any EV stocks that stand out to you as potential value type plays?
I misjudged Tesla. I bought it at 800. It seemed like an auspicious number in Chinese New Year. It was not, so it wasn't auspicious for me at least. So as of right now, I'm still focusing on the Tesla NIO like dynamic that they have, and of course CCIV turned out to be a big bust last week, and I'll be looking for it to see if it recovers soon.
So what are a few reasons why you like Palantir as someone who's, very into data?
The reason why is because, well, one, Palantir seems like it has the backing of some of the largest ETFs that also support the other tech stocks in the way that Palantir currently is. As well as being a heavy hitter in its own right, it has the ability to, once again, support itself based on all of these government contracts. If I said that all of my money is going to be in like pineapple trees or mining, all of this is like, I don't know what those are. But if I said all of my money is going to come from, Uncle Sam, you're like, oh, I know Uncle Sam. And I know that Uncle Sam is not going to like dry up or stop sending you these contracts anytime soon.
Right. So here we have Palantir. And yeah, so it just got a major haircut. I'm not sure what exactly the peak was. Looks like around $30. Oh no, way more than that.
Yeah,
way
so
more.
Palantir. I think that there's been conflicting reports about whether or not it made its earnings or it beat its earnings or did worse than expectations. But as of right now, it seems to me at a massive discount.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because this is when I've been thinking about doing some deep diligence on. So basically,
oh sure.
I was just going to ask. So were you a fan of Palantir when it was up in the 40s?
I was less of a fan. I love deals. That's my mantra, right? And as of right now, the amount of support behind Palantir is for the long term. It is still bullish for a significant long term, perhaps, depending on whether or not this bubble that has gotten even larger today ends up bursting or not in the next couple of days.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you think is the price that it should be at right now? Or what's your price target? Whatever's easier to answer.
I try not to do price targets because it's the risk to reward for YouTubers giving price targets is just so bad. Like if it goes anywhere near my price target, people can be like, oh, like he can only like accurately predict this kind of stock. And if it doesn't go there, then suddenly I'm like a wrong person. So I would say, if you're here for Palantir to sell it soon, Palantir is probably not for you. In my opinion, Palantir is a much longer term play, maybe even later on to Q3 or Q4 of this year.
Oh, that's not very long. I thought you were going to say like 10 years from now. Yeah, in the short run, of course, a price target is almost, you might as well flip a coin because you really don't know. So is this a long-term hold for you, or is this kind of a swing, maybe hold it for 6 months kind of thing?
For now, I would say I would hold it long term, but you know what? I owe you a more in-depth technical analysis. So what I'll do is I'll link the one that I currently have on Palantir, and then I'm going to do one even better for your audience next time I show up.
Okay, sounds good. You can, if you have it available, you can throw it in the chat here.
I will.
In case people are interested.
And I wanted to say thank you so much for having me. How do I get?
Thanks for joining.
How do I get it into the actual chat? I'll just send it to a private message. There you go.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll throw it in chat here.
You are the Stonk Jesus, as I've seen from the chat. Stonk Jesus, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm the Stonk Jesus. We're all the Neandernuts. We're caveman capital. A little bit of everything.
I love that brand. Meatball, do you want to say goodbye? You want to say bye? We'll see you guys soon.
Meatball. Yeah, thanks for joining, Andrew. Make sure you subscribe to Andrew's channel if you like what's going on here. He's a very knowledgeable guy. And yeah, I appreciate you joining.
I appreciate it so much. Thanks again. See ya.
Take it easy. Bye. Sweet. Awesome. Andrew's a good guy. We've been talking briefly in the recent past. We'll have to have him on again at some time in the future. Maybe me, Andrew, and Trey or something like that. That could be fun. Oh, someone just said they emailed me a Caveman Capital logo. Let's check this out. Let me pull this over the screen. Caveman Capital. That's pretty darn good. Stocks go moon. That's awesome. That's pretty darn good. And that was, let me just make sure I got your name here. Benjamin Bader. I appreciate that. Octo Ray Design. So let's take a look here at what's going on with our favorite AMC. I wasn't gone for long. I got off that live stream, messaged Andrew, and we're like, oh yeah, let's just go live today. AMC. Need a hat. Yeah, we might need a hat with just the guy on it. That's funny. Yeah, Meatball the dog. That is a well-behaved dog, man. Well, I liked hearing that about Palantir. I'm gonna have to do some more diligence on Palantir and see what exactly I can come up with there as far as future prospects. It's always good when someone in an industry really likes a particular company. Like I would obviously have a very good ability to judge a moving company or really any service business for that instance. That was a big jump up we saw here in that 15-minute interval, going back down to the 1 minute. Got about half hour here before the end of market close. Make sure you give Andrew some love if you enjoyed that interview, taking some time out of his day. Caveman movers. Might have to. Let's see here. Still saying short shares availability, only 8,000 for AMC. Fee to borrow rate, 8.65%. This is on AMC. Let me just make sure. Yeah, AMC. That's just, how does that even, that doesn't even seem possible to me. There's only 8,000 shares and it's still sitting at that from, it's been at 8,000 since last week. Short volume ratio, 26. So according to Fintel, it's 26%. Let's check out GameStop here. So on GameStop, short volume ratio 24%, 400,000 shares available, borrow rate 4.54%. So I think the borrow rate was up in like mid 30% on GameStop at one point. When the prices were extremely high and there was just like no shares to borrow. So the reason why that short borrow fee is lower here is just because there's simply more shares available to borrow for GameStop. Supply and demand, baby. And make sure you like this stream if you enjoy what's going on. I'm going to stream at least till market close. We'll get things going. AMC. Just seeing a whole lot of resistance. But you know what? If we can close up 14%, that's really not too bad. We can't complain too much. If Elon Musk created a crypto, would I buy it? Probably if I could buy in early enough. I wonder, we got 23 minutes till market close. I really wonder if there's going to be some major action here. Let's check out the volume. Volume is actually pretty low compared to what we saw earlier today. Might be similar for GameStop. It's actually more volume for GameStop right now, which is pretty crazy given the difference in share price. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we might see this thing go down a little bit further. This might be a potential resistance point again, right back down at 909, 908. Just keeps on bouncing to the same prices. Yeah, someone's saying it's not retail investors for GameStop. I mean, that would sure be something if there was a bunch of big institutions hopping in. It could be a potential play for someone who's real smart and has a few $1 billion to toss around, throwing $1 billion into GameStop, knowing that it's going to run up, 80% or something like that after you do it. That could be a potential Yeah, that would be interesting. Am I bullish on Sundial? I don't think you're going to want to hear the answer to that. Not really. I think Sundial is a good company in and of itself. However, I just think its share price is way too overblown. In a hyped industry, it's the most, if not close to the most hyped stock. So GameStop seeing some selling now. Probably lost about 50% of these gains. Let's throw on a Fibonacci. Don't have time to say the whole. If we go up to here, especially, it's down. But let's just go to the settled. So we go to the top of the high settled candle, down about 60% from that peak. Really not bad, though, for the day. I mean, a 19% day, nothing to shake a stick at. Am I going to post another video today? I'm not sure. I'll give it a 50-50 chance. YouTube's pretty mad at me right now with those copyrights. Let me show you guys something. This is ridiculous. So, if you're a member, you already saw this. But when we were going live earlier, I got a copyright strike for playing Jordan Belfort during the stream. Almost poetic. Anyways, this is the copyright claim that I got. And then YouTube really just absolutely smacked me after that. I must have set off the alarms in the back rooms at YouTube, and they went sicko mode and gave me 58 copyright claims on that one stream. I was just getting email after email. It's just ridiculous. 58 claims on one video. The reason they did that is because there was those two videos that got claimed. Okay, fine. I shouldn't have played those live. Whatever. Still probably worth it. And then, after that, they sent someone to do a manual review, and they claimed each song that I played, but I have rights to play those. So in order to free that up, I have to, every single song, send them my license to play that. And normally that's not an issue, but you know, whatever. Guess that's what happens when you don't play by the rules. Sometimes you get schmacked. Anyways. Oh, I don't know what happened to my stream from Friday. We were streaming here on Friday. I ended the stream and it just deleted. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, I ended the stream. Even for people who are watching it and were midway, it just like played whatever was buffered and then said user has deleted the stream. I did not delete it, and it wasn't unlisted. It just literally wasn't on my channel anymore, which was kind of a bummer because that was a hilarious stream. Also, people aren't getting notifications for a lot of these streams. So YouTube's really giving me a hard time right now. Oh, Trey just texted me. Maybe I can try to get him to hop on with us for a little bit. Let's see if he wants to hop on till market close. All right, we'll see what he says. Thank you, bail for YouTube jail. I appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, YouTube is not a fan of me right now. All right, sweet. Let's. I'm gonna get Trey here. I'm gonna send him an email to jump on. So brace yourselves. Trey's gonna join for a short period. Bear with me for 1 second here. All right, so we're setting things up here. Anyways, until he joins. Someone says my bet will Trey will come in laughing. He absolutely will come in laughing. Oh,
you hear me, man? Oh, we're already.
What's going on?
Dude, Max, what's cracking, brother?
We are live. This is an eventful stream we got going on here. We just
what a day! You chatted with Andrew Mo.
Yep, I know you're a big fan, Andrew. He's a big fan of you.
Dude, Andrew Mo is a G. What a guy. I was actually just watching his live stream before I hopped on.
Yeah, I think he left to go stream.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the dude's really intelligent. I love watching his channel because he's an upbeat guy, very easygoing. He's got nothing but love for the whole community. Doesn't try starting beef with anybody. And he's smart. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He spends a lot of time researching and finding analytics and data, and that's cool. I dig that a lot. It's good to see.
Yep. Very smart.
Heck yeah, man, but doesn't compare. Doesn't compare to Tarzan. Jesus Tarzan, baby. Stomp Jesus. Whatever you want to call it. Have you come up with a slogan yet? You got a name for your crew?
Yeah, just to update you. So on Friday, we had quite the chaotic live stream. We were voting on what we wanted to call ourselves. And so our organization is called Caveman Capital.
Oh, baby. I love that. Yep. That's such gold. I'm going to steal that, dude. Yep. Oh. Now we're Caveman Capital over at Trey's Trades.
So our organization's Caveman Capital, and we are the Neandernots.
That's such gold. That's such gold, yep. Dude. You gotta run with that. Make some shirts or something. The Neandernots. I've never heard of that.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we got a real creative people here in the chat who came up with that name. It was between that and Maxtronauts at the end, and then we voted Neandernots.
Dude, just the goat. Max the goat, man. That's what's up. I love that. That's gold. Rock on, man. Well, how long have you been streaming for? I haven't looked at let me just peek at your channel and see. You've been going for quite a while, huh?
No, I was going this morning and then stopped for a few hours, and I was talking to Andrew, and we were like, let's just stream this afternoon. So we hopped right back on. It was like I was down for 2 hours or something.
Oh, okay, sure. Rock on, man. Yeah, you went for 3 hours this morning. Dang. So you've been going to town. You've been working.
Yeah, I guess so. We've been going.
What a day for AMC, huh?
Yeah, it was getting pretty hyped. Let me pull it up here on the screen for us.
Oh, not a dead cat, baby.
That's right. Not a dead cat.
Never. It was a sleeping cat. We've already had this talk. Talk. Nah, there's nothing but good things going on right now with AMC. This is a solid setup. I mean, if you look at all the numbers popping out right now, the short available shares is super low. So if we just look at Fintel, I'm going to just refresh this. It's at 8,000 as of 20 minutes ago, which is very low. Getting shorted down to the freaking depths of the shadow realm. And you've got 8.65% short borrow fee rate. So the higher that goes, the less chance you have of shorts coming out profitable, right? The risk for the market makers is a lot higher to lend out those short shares. That's huge. That's pretty. I like seeing those numbers, man.
Right. So the 8,000 shares, has that not changed since last week?
No, it changed. It changes hour by hour. So I'll pull up iBorrow Desk. That gives me a better idea of the numbers and stuff. It shows you an hour by hour sort of situation, but I think it was at like 2 million at some point. So I'm just going to pull up AMC really quick here, AMC Entertainment. All right. So if we go hour by hour, it says that as of 3:45 p.m. CST or EST, as I should say, it was at 250,000. Hour before that, or I should say 15 minutes before that, 250,000, 15 before that, 8,000. At 3 o'clock EST was at 1,000. So it changes pretty regularly, depending on when shorts cover, when they sell, et cetera, et cetera. But that's gnarly, man. That's not a lot of availability.
Right. So that's why the interest is higher. It's about double the interest for GameStop.
Right, exactly, man. Is it? It's double the interest of GameStop, huh?
The fee to borrow, I mean.
Right. No, I know what you meant. Let me check this out. According to Fintel, GameStop's fee to borrow, yeah, it's double, 4.54% for GameStop. That's huge. See, we both thinking, man. I mean, the short share availability for GameStop is also higher. It's at 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's definitely more pressure being pushed down on AMC right now. Nobody's talking about it. GameStop's still getting, just as much volume as AMC. It's climbing more, which is crazy. It's up 15% today. AMC is up about 14.
I gotta change this title. Everyone's getting mad at me for having Andrew's name in the title right now.
No, you're chilling, dude. You're chilling. It's all good. I don't care. I'm not looking for the clout.
Let me just change this for now. I'll update it after I post this video after we're done being live.
We're chilling. You can keep it the same. I don't really care that much, man. I'm just here to vibe. Just chilling with the Neandernaut, That's what's up.
That's right.
Money Max.
I got to add your channel to the description as well.
I appreciate that, brother. Oh, if you're not subbed to to our man Max, you're messing up. This dude's the GOAT for sure. Drop a like, and I'll drink some water or something.
Yeah. You'll drink one sip of water for every like.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Let me add your channel here to the description.
Carabunga. That's what's up. Yeah, we're sitting at about 908 right now. So we have a little bit of a sell-off coming into the close right now. But something that I've noticed, and we've talked about this before, is with AMC and GameStop, they usually see some pretty hefty buying pressure in after hours or pre-market. So I would anticipate you see a little bit of a move in the after hours, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah. So we got 8 minutes until close. It just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on here.
No, I mean, the volume is higher than it was, midday, intraday. I would say, honestly, it's pretty close to, it's actually higher than we opened at. So besides that first minute, we saw 8 million in volume. It was about, 500,000, 400,000, somewhere around there. And we're up here in the, the 500,000 to million range for most of this trading, at least when we saw a huge run up to 935. So far today, we've seen 136 million in volume. If we compare that to the last trading day, we're actually a little bit higher. We saw 134 million in volume yesterday. So we're going to have more volume here. That's solid, man. That's a good setup.
What about Thursday? Because that was a crazy day.
Oh, man, that was nuts. Nothing in comparison to that. Nothing at all. Let's see. Friday, Thursday. Thursday, we saw 439 million in volume. But the problem with that is that was a lot of red volume that came in. So let me see if I can find this on iBorrow Desk, if it has that data. I don't know if it does. It doesn't look like it. But if I remember right, it was like 27% of the overall volume was short volume, which is a lot. So that's 100 million and some change total volume coming in that's red, which kind of dings on the stock price a little bit. And I think that confuses some people. We've got a lot of volume pumping into a stock. Why isn't it going up? But red volume, obviously, as doesn't always mean green price action, sadly.
Right. Let me show you something. Perfect example of this. We're looking at this morning. So this is just the buy and sells on Fidelity yesterday.
Sure.
You can see that. So if we look at, which one was it?
Man, look at the buy and sells on GameStop. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's gnarly.
Oh, this must have been updated. Dang.
That'd be my guess. Was AMC pretty high?
Yeah. It was HCMC. So HCMC was about similar to this. It was about 84% buys, but it was down like, I don't remember the exact percentage, like 30% or something like that.
Yeah, man. I can only think of the amount of volume coming in, or if it's shorted volume. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Well, what I think it is the selling. So, the selling orders must just be much bigger than the buy orders, because that would still
Totally.
drive the price down. So that's the
Yeah,
only thing that I
exactly.
can think of.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I would think it's just a huge sell orders coming in, which typically you wouldn't see from people who are like just retail investors holding the stock. To me,
Mhm.
that like those sell orders are likely shorts. I think, I don't short stocks. I don't like doing that. I like just going long on companies. I like helping out, unless I hate the company, but I've never shorted anyways. I don't know if you can even short OTC market stocks. Do you know?
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure.
Hmm. I don't know either. I'll probably never find out because I don't plan on shorting stocks, but yeah, I
Let
don't
me
know.
see.
It's a way to make money. It's a way, but I'd rather look for the the long-term opportunities when there's dips happening.
So it says, although short selling is allowed on securities traded over the counter, it's not without potential problems. These stocks generally trade in low volumes. This makes them illiquid. An investor trying to cover an unprofitable short position could get stuck. So there's even the potential more for getting squozed if you short one.
Yeah, getting dinged. Man, OTC market stocks, are so volatile, man. It's just so risky. I would not want to short that
Yeah.
because you can end up, like what if you got a stock like HCMC, which is trading at less than a penny, all of a sudden it hits, 5 cents even. Oh my God. Could you
Right.
imagine? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'd never even dare doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. No thanks. Yeah, I never even realized how small of a fraction of a share HCMC was. It's so
Oh, it's so
small, like
tiny.
it doesn't even register when you look at it, like how much that is.
What's crazy about HCMC too is they've actually got a pretty decent market cap. I think they're a couple $1 billion,
Oh,
if I
yeah.
remember right, or like $500 million or something like that. They just got a crap ton of outstanding shares.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild amount of shares.
Yeah. I think it'd be in the best interest of that company to buy back some of those shares after this lawsuit situation. So I actually haven't had the opportunity to, look into what ended up happening with HCMC. I've been in and out of doctor's offices for who knows how long, last 5 days. But do you know what ended up happening? Did you read into it at all?
No, I haven't heard anything. I feel like it must have been uneventful because I haven't even seen it mentioned.
That's what I thought too, man. I mean, we talked about it briefly, but the chances of them getting that lawsuit settled on that exact date, not necessarily that high. It's more the fact that they had to respond by that date that could drive the price action.
Right. Yep. So we're getting smashed here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it's getting grinded. Oh, geez.
$9.
Yeah, we're $9. Yeah, sitting at $9. I'm looking at the level 2s right now, and there's actually a lot of buyers waiting to get orders filled at like $8.95 to $9. So I don't think it'll drop much below that before the close, if I had to guess. I think it'll hold up pretty well at $9. But there's a crap ton of sellers at 901 to 907 too. So it looks like it's gonna be a pretty tight consolidation at the close. Set 3 minutes away.
Yeah, there might be a good amount of buyers though too, right at $9 who are like, let me just.
Oh yeah,
try
there is for sure.
Here.
It looks like it's holding pretty well. We got a nice bounce on the RSI. Hit down at about 30, 28. Getting a nice bounce, a little bit of momentum. That's a nice engulfing candlestick pattern. Typically indicates a reversal. So I'd anticipate it's going to be a green close.
It would be crazy if it wasn't. Can you imagine?
Oh man, no. Give back 13% in the last 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
I can't imagine that. Dude, no, thank you. No, thank you. What if it just I don't know what I would do.
Gosh.
I'd just end up pumping another couple $1,000s in AMC. That's what I would do.
You'd have to. Jeez. Looks
were
like
you able to catch my last video talking about the gamma squeeze potential and all the call options and stuff? It's very interesting, man. The situation.
No, I haven't seen that yet. Let's hear about it.
Dude. So there's a lot of good stuff happening right now with AMC in regards to a gamma squeeze. So what's interesting about GameStop before it ran up is it had a couple of gamma squeezes that led into that ultimate short squeeze. And what happened is you've got weeks and weeks in a row where you've got unusual call options trading, and you've got the market makers who have to delta hedge the call options that come in. Essentially what that means is, when market makers write out these call options, they have to have the collateral and shares to be able to, if people decide to exercise them, fill those orders. And when you've got that many call options coming in, they have to hedge a lot of shares. And where they get those from is the market. So when those market makers are hedging, they buy shares from the market, which drives up the price action, which helps contribute to a gamma squeeze because it's kind of a double-edged sword. You've got the market makers that are hedging on the way up. Then if you have people that exercise their in the money call options when they expire in the money, even if it's 20%, 30% of those total call options, those get bought, at that signified strike price and help push the price up further from there. So it's a pretty interesting process, man. And we're seeing it kind of happen with AMC a little bit. We've got crazy unusual call options trading. Just today, if you look at the strikes between $5 and $15, what's the one that stands out the most? We've got 33,000 call options at $6, 16,000 at 6.5, 21 at 7, 24 at 8, 21 at 9. Like, it's just insane. Huge numbers of call options coming in. And I think that's just going to keep running, man. I don't think there's any, I don't think this is done. I think you're going to keep seeing this push.
That's just going to add rocket fuel to the boosters.
So dude.
We just saw a big run up here right before close.
$9.20 is the official close. Man, that's solid, man. I'm so pumped. I'll take a 15% day any day of the week.
Wow.
That's money.
I feel like this is going to be a crazy after hours.
Dude, I really hope so. Let's see. Do you have after hours turned on your computer? It's super easy to do.
No. How do you do that?
So if you click on that little 3-bar tab right by the top right of the actual chart screen,
3-bar
that should have, I think your mouse is over it. Oh, where is it? It's not there for you. Okay, so you've got it. That little widget, that little gear. Click on that settings.
Yeah.
And then turn on show extended hours.
There
you go, man. We're cooking with Crisco, baby. That's gonna level up the game.
Oh no, we saw some selling right away.
That's all right. We're sitting at 910. So in the after hours, we're down about 1% right now. GameStop is down about 2%, 2.5%. Microvision's down about 1/4%. Looks like there's a couple of stocks that are just pulling back a little bit in the after hours. So I'm not overly concerned about that. That's not the end of the world. We'll see. It's the first minute.
Yeah, we finished up green. That's what matters most. It was definitely a win. I think I'd way rather a 5-10% win on each day than a 50% jump up, 20% crash, whatever.
Oh, totally. When you run up so much so fast, it usually means that you're going to have a volatile drop back down, So when stocks go up really fast, they usually come down hard. When they go down hard, they come up, and it's just different ways to play the same game. So I'd rather get these incremental 10% days, 50% days so that we can slowly, creep up on those short positions that are being held, which, are getting cranked right now. They're getting absolutely cranked. Holy Toledo. And then eventually they're going to cover, You
imagine the people who were shorting when it was at $5.50?
Oh, man, no, thank you. It's just going to get worse and worse for him. Worse and worse. And I'm not sure if you know who Uncle Bruce is. He's, dude, I want that guy to be my grandpa. Uncle Bruce is awesome. Check out his channel. You're gonna smile for sure.
I'm familiar with him. I've watched a few of his lives, actually.
Oh, yeah, that dude's awesome. He had a live stream and he made a video about it. And he was talking about what some of these hedge funds are likely doing. And I was fascinated, honestly. Were you able to catch it? It was in like simple terms, talking about what GME, is happening right now regarding the short squeeze. No,
I didn't. What were some of the key points, if you remember?
Yeah, dude. So the key point's super simple, and it makes a crap ton of sense. So if you've got hedge funds or institutions that are, let's say, short 1 million shares, I'm just using his exact example. He said, okay, we're short 1 million shares. Let's say we shorted AMC at $5. Right now it's trading at $9. So how can we cover our butts without getting screwed here? We're down money. What they'll do is they'll buy call options worth 2 million total shares, right? So let's say it's a call option at, maybe out the money or in the money, let's say in the money, $8, and it runs up to $9. Well, if they're long, what's the equivalent of 2 million shares, they can cover those call options for the first million. And they've got an additional million for, let's say, market makers that decide, oh crap, we wrote out some naked shorts that we don't have the shares for, the collateral for. We need to buy back some shares to make this happen. They've got that additional million shares that they can sell to the market makers, which further drives the price back up. And then you get a pullback and they reestablish their short position and they rinse and repeat. And I think that's what some of these institutionals are doing, some of the hedge funds. I wouldn't say all of them, obviously. I think, the short availability speaks for itself. But we've been talking about this a lot. We've been saying, I think there's going to be institutions that go long on this because where there's opportunities to make money, they're going to make money, whatever it means. But that made a lot of sense to me. I was like, dude, holy crap.
So they use the synthetic shorts to jump up the price, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's institutions legitimately in the battle here. That's nuts. That's so crazy, dude. Uncle Bruce is a G. I want that guy to be my grandpa. Straight up.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, last time we were streaming, we were saying we needed to hop on with Uncle Bruce, get all of us going here with the stream.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. That'd be a lot of fun, dude. We needed me and Uncle Bruce chat. Can you imagine the dynamic there?
Yeah.
That'd be insane. That'd be so fun. Oh man.
Oh, I got to show you this. I was just talking about this right before you hopped on. So I was streaming earlier, and you know that Wolf of Wall Street clip where he's like, "I'm not effing leaving."
Yeah, man, totally.
So take a look at this. I played it earlier. We got a copyright strike, and
Yeah, go figure.
YouTube just came down on me afterwards. And look at this. I got 58 copyright claims from my stream.
What? Oh, dude, that sucks from that one clip.
Yeah.
In your live stream.
Yeah. So what happened was I got knocked from that like almost instantly. As soon as I played it, I literally got a notification on my screen that was like, viewers won't be able to see this. Like this video will be restricted. And I was like, well, that happens, whatever. And then afterwards, I play music during the streams a lot, but I just use, music I have rights to. They had someone manually review it, and they flagged every single song that I played throughout the whole stream, even though I have rights. So in order to lift the rights, I have to send for each song, my license agreement. So for 58 songs or whatever.
Dude, what the heck? You got bent over the barrel. That sucks. Yeah. Oh man. Well, what really sucks about that is now you're gonna be on the radar, dude. Every single live stream, if you play music, they're gonna be flagging you. They're gonna be like, "Where are the rights? Where are the rights? We want to see it."
I know.
Oh man, dude, that sucks. That's kind of, I don't want to say funny because it sucks, but it's funny because we were just talking about it and you're like, I don't know why they don't ever check out my music because I play it all the time and never have any issues. Or like I'll cuss on here accidentally and they don't say anything. Well, now you're going to be on the radar, man. They're going to have every Bob Saget on the planet watching your channel from here on out.
Exactly. Yeah. They got a manual. They're probably watching right now.
Oh yeah. I bet. You AI robots out there, Bob Saget, if you're watching this, I want you to know it really sucks, man. Don't mess with our our Neanderthals. That's a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We can barely read over here, much less file a copyright claim or contest a copyright claim.
Now I'm gonna be very careful about that. I'm glad you talked about that because I'm gonna make sure I don't do anything like that on my channel. Most that I'll do, and I never play music, but sometimes I'll pull up other guys' YouTube, clips or whatever. But I don't think you can get really copyright claimed for that because that's just free to the public,
Yes, for some reason YouTube videos are different as long as you're like commenting on it. There's like a fair use. It's somehow worked with that. But also take a look at this is something that you'll want to watch out for.
Definitely.
So I got claimed twice for videos. This first one it doesn't say. It was a clip from Seinfeld that was in a GIF on Wall Street Bets. So it saw the GIF and then claimed that as like being owned by Seinfeld or whoever owns the rights to Seinfeld.
Just because there was an ad.
Warning. Yeah.
Wow, dude. Man, I really gotta be careful. I wonder if there's a way that I can turn ads off or if I can just pay for something so they don't pop up just by the off chance, You never know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, that's such a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. It's their system. I guess we play by their rules.
Yeah, whatever, man. I always say, I don't know. my friends always they always make fun of my stupid slang, but I always just say piss on them. Whatever, dude. Life goes on.
Yeah, you might even want to be careful with that.
Yeah, I know. My apologies. I'm gonna get you flagged again. My bad, man. I'll Venmo you. I'll Venmo you $100.
About that. Yeah, I didn't even think that we were on my stream. I forgot.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, for sure.
Oh well.
How long you be sticking around the office for?
I'll be in the office for a while. I just got to go here in about like 7 minutes or so.
Okay.
So I could probably hop on your stream like later on in the evening as long as I could finish everything. If you're still streaming.
Yeah, man, for sure. I was thinking about streaming, instead of putting up an AMC video tonight, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the people want. Maybe I'll ask some questions in the Discord, but I think people enjoy the live streams for whatever reason. This is my thought process, is I think people appreciate the transparency because you can make a video and like if you don't like something you said, you can either take it out or just re-record. And I think having a live stream, people like feel more connected and like you're not BSing them. You're not trying to just chill a stock or whatever it might be. Because you can't make something up on the spot. You just got to give your opinions.
Yeah, it's much more polished on an actual video. Like for me, I do tons of planning before a video, which there's a benefit to each way.
Right. Yeah, totally, man. There's ups and downs. There's ups and downs. I think the only thing that I don't like about live streams is they get long and you don't necessarily get all the information out that you want to. People watch it after you live streamed. You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to watch a 3-hour live stream sifting for information. Nobody's got time for it. Maybe I just need to buy some like editing software where I can like clip out pieces and put those up as videos, but I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yeah, get a DaVinci Resolve is free. They have a free
DaVinci Resolve. Is that what you use to clip out that 3-minute bromance that we had?
Oh, with that, I actually just use a screen recorder. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, for actual editing, DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci Resolve. Look at that. There we go. Yeah, I'll check that out.
It's got a little bit of a learning curve, but it's really good.
Nah, I'll take the time. I took a half hour to figure out OBS. I can do it again. Have you been sticking strictly to Restream?
So I was kind of doing a mix because, well, the other day I was going to use Restream, and I was on there and I thought I was going live on my scheduled stream, but it started an entirely new stream. So then I had to switch everything over real quick. And people are like, what's going on? There's 2 streams going on at the same time. But now I have it figured out. So if I'm going to talk to someone, then I'll just do Restream. Otherwise, I'll just do
run off OBS.
Well, just through my switcher. I don't even use OBS.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, definitely,
man. I was looking through my Amazon stuff because I was waiting for all my equipment to come in, and I realized I never pushed buy. so I actually they're just sitting in my cart this whole time. So that's a little annoying because I was waiting for like a week. I was like, why aren't these here yet? I paid for premium shipping or whatever, 1-day shipping, and whatever. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. So you got it on the way now?
Yeah. It should be coming. I'm pretty excited, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Especially with some of the medical stuff that's been going on. It seems like I'm going to end up getting med boarded out of the Army. So it's going to be fun to really kind of dive into the niche, and try and just get a little bit better every day. That's what I'm going to try to do.
You guys think that Trey posts a lot now?
Yeah. Wait for 20 videos a day. Live streams, 18 hours.
Right. Yeah. We should do like a 24-hour live stream sometime.
You better put your money where your mouth is, man. I'll do it. I'll do it. I got my Grizzly wintergreen and some coffee. That's all I got needs.
I've already done 10-hour, 9-hour, whatever.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Hours. Yeah,
dude. Could you imagine that? I don't know, dude.
we'd have to do it for a reason,
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I see people asking about Nano Dimensions. I'm pretty familiar with that stock. Are you?
I'm vaguely familiar, and yeah, thank you for addressing that because someone did a super chat that I needed to mention about it.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. So if you know anything about it, you can go ahead first. This is your channel, my man.
No, let's hear you start off because I would have to pull it up to even remember what I remember. All right, here I can. If you want to share your screen, you can pull something up if you want.
Yeah, totally. I will do that right now. All right, so Nano Dimensions is an innovator company, and Ark Invest is kind of riding these guys specifically because Ark Investor Kathy Woods, they really focus on technology and disruption. So we're kind of moving away from the idea and the premise of retail manufacturing. So like old-fashioned school, you've got the guys that are working conveyor belts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're moving into technology and AI that does work for guys, right? So you're moving away from this sort of idea of manufacturing jobs and into engineered jobs, and I would say fine-tuning, this sort of equipment that exists. And Nano Dimensions is a stock that I like a lot. I don't have a position in them. I like XONE a little bit more, but Nano Dimensions is a stock that I think is going to do very well. And to give you an idea of where it can move, I would look at XONE, X1. So this is a very similar company. They do 3D printing just like Nano Dimensions does, but they focus on metal and sand 3D printing. So it's more of like manufacturing of, maybe it's, military equipment because they have a contract with the DoD worth $1.5 million. They're working on basically like a trailer that would have, metal and sand 3D printers that can replicate parts to a transmission on a Humvee or a Bradley, or, replace the pin on an M16, whatever it might be. You can see the applications here, like they're infinite. You could have potentially infinite upside. And on the flip side of things, X1 went from $9 up to $66 in like a month and a half. Nano Dimensions, I think, has a lot of the same capabilities and potential, even though they're selling off right now. In fact, this doesn't scare me. I would see this as a crazy opportunity that I didn't think you'd see again to crank this stock. And the whole technology industry took a major hit in the last, 2 weeks or so. I just don't think you're going to see a dip like this, all throughout 2021. What these guys do is they focus on technology or printed electronics. So 3D printing of electronics. You can see where this would be huge. Like maybe that's, chips for smartphones, or maybe that's like, software boards for computers, or, the technology that allows, 3D printing machines to even exist. Like there's infinite upside there as we continue to expand in technology. So the premise and idea of Nano Dimensions to me is huge. And I know that ARK Invest and Kathy Woods is in both Exxon and NNDM. I just see so much infinite upside from a fundamental basis, right? Just moving away from that manufacturing, market over to a disruption and technology-based market. So the downside, the con here is we're kind of in a limbo right now, right? So we're not completely in this technology sector. We're not completely in this, manufacturing sector. We're kind of dipping our toes in both ponds. So if we don't end up making that full transition over to technology, which I think we will, to be blunt, that's my opinion. But if we don't, right, you're losing this, right? That's the downside. But that's my 2 cents, man. I'd like to hear what you think.
So, I mean, you're much more knowledgeable on this company than I am.
No worries, man. I mean, you can look at the spreadsheets, the financial statements, income statements, cash flow, whatever. You know, but more about that than I would.
I
can stop screen sharing too.
I think I can just switch it over.
Oh, okay, that works.
Well, that's actually kind of a cool. It cuts you off.
I'll just move in like this.
Let me make this a little bigger. Oh, the ads. Bear with me, folks. Okay. So a question I had with this, and that you just answered, was why did we see such a decrease in sales? And you answered it by saying they changed up their industry focus. So that makes me feel a lot better about this 5-quarter trend, pretty much shrinking down 90% or whatever in 2 quarters if they're completely changing their business model. The only thing that says, though, or that's a concern there, is of course they're doing something new that they haven't done before. It's far from a proven concept for them. But of course, if you're going to transition, it's always going to be rough in the beginning.
Totally. And, I'm not entirely sure. I don't have a position in Nano Dimensions, just to be, transparent. I'm not sure if they have commercialized any of their products yet. I suppose I can take a quick peek. I can see they've got their Dragonfly system. They've got their Nano S 3D additive fabrication services. I just don't know if these are commercialized yet. Whereas X1, they're already commercialized. So, that's, I think, why you're looking at a different situation with Exxon. I think, let me look at their financial statements and see what I can pick off here, just based on my little knowledge. But their income statements, over the last, couple of years, they've been growing pretty well outside of 2019. So 2016, 17, 18, 19, you're looking in that exact order. 47.7 million in revenue, 57.7 million, 64.6, and 53.2. So they're pulling in a pretty decent amount. Their cost of revenue is pretty high, so not taking a lot of gross profit home. But their marketing and administrative expenses and their R&D costs are pretty high too. So my hypothesis is they're taking a lot of that money they're making and they're finding ways to refine their technology so they can lower their margins, so they can really lock in, the same technology with cheaper costs, and I think a lot of the costs come from initially developing the tech. What I think of as Tesla. Elon Musk talks about this a lot. He says the reason Tesla is so expensive is because we're still making it a product that is, feasible or affordable to the public while we're refining it, right? So I think Tesla's going to get cheaper. I think Exxon will get cheaper, and NDM will get cheaper. But these are all new companies, right? They've only been around for doing what they're doing for a pretty limited amount of time.
Right. And we can see too that Exxon must have had some kind of transition or change between 2018 and 2019. It's almost a similar situation where gross income increased at a very steady clip. And then decreased all of a sudden in 2019. So I wonder if they did some kind of restructuring or different kind of.
That was my guess too, man.
Something.
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that. That was a question I was going to ask you. That is one of my favorite stocks, dude. I've got a pretty heavy stake there. I've got about 100 shares. It's worth about $400 right now. That's definitely one of my core pillars of my portfolio. I'll hold that for a couple of years.
Okay. Yeah. So with this one, something that I like to see, because a lot of these companies that we look at and that we get requested to look at have no net income. So a lot of times a second thing you can look at is what their their gross income is and whether that's increasing or decreasing, because this can tell you how profitable their operations are outside of their new capital investments, like in research, research and development, asset purchases, things like that.
So looking at the gross income.
Yeah. So this can tell you, because gross income is just your sales minus your cost of goods sold.
Right.
Are they getting more efficient with that? Is whatever assets they have, is that making it easier to earn profit just on that? And it can be a good indicator of future profits. So with this increasing at a dramatic clip, that can mean good things. So I'd want to figure out why that decreased in 2019. But so we can see the last quarter we have reported, which is third quarter 2020, we saw a very dramatic increase.
I noticed that too.
So they're all kind of all over the place with that. It would take some digging, listen to some earnings calls and things like that, and figure out, what changed between these last 4 recorded quarters.
So I have a question for you. You might be able to answer this better than I would, but I've got on Webull their I suppose it'd be 2019. My bad. Their 2019 year over year other non-operating net income, and that was $21.28 million, which was up 3,500% from their previous year. What would cause that? that is a stupid increase. That's not by accident.
So 29, did you say 1 quarter or for the whole year?
Whole year, 2019. So their other non-operating net income was $21.28 million, up 3,500% from the previous year, which was $589,000. Would that be like, I wouldn't think it'd be direct offerings. Like, could that come straight from the market? Like they sold shares or whatever it might be to raise capital? That could be a way, but I haven't seen it. That's a lot of money, man. I want to know why.
I actually don't even have that here on Market Watch.
Okay, so I can share my screen if you want to see it.
Yeah, if you want to share it, I can
totally
pull yours up.
All right, here we go.
All right.
You see that okay?
Yeah.
Kind of buffering funny on my end.
Can you just like do a little mouse around which one it is? I can't see it.
Yeah, so it's right here. Other non-operating net income, $21.28 million as compared to the previous year of $589,000.
That makes me think maybe it was some kind of tax credit, government incentive, something, because non-operating, it's not from operations. That's something that you'd be able to find the answer to in their annual report.
Okay, I got you.
I think it'd be something like, how Tesla is profitable, but it's pretty much just from tax credits. Similar idea, I'm pretty sure. But they would definitely address that in their annual report, because obviously a lot of people would want to know.
Yeah, man, that's huge. That definitely needs some explanation.
Yeah.
What is going on with my computer right now? Jesus, I started sharing my screen and it's one of my monitors just shut off.
It looks good on this end.
Well, that's what matters. It says no HDMI signal from your device. So I'm gonna see if I can just fix this quick. Give me 1 sec. Do this. Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can still hear you.
All right. We'll see if that fixes.
Oh, and he's gone. Trey has disappeared. I'm not sure what just happened. Should be able to jump back in. Anyways, after hours, while we wait for him to jump back in, after hours here for GameStop up 2%, AMC about 0.5% up. I think he kicked himself off the stream. Literally mid-sentence. He should be able to join right back in. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of a run up here right now. After hours. 2%. I mean, everything's basically green still. It's kind of a wild day. I think a big part of it is how we got that stimulus bill passed in the House. I think that definitely has an effect on what we're seeing right now. How much stock should we take on after hours? Oh, Trey's computer just crashed. How much stock should we take on after hours trading? It's always good to consider that after hours trading is much more opaque. Kind of things can happen behind the scenes without being very visible to what exactly is going on. If you see a big trend in one direction or the other, you can count on that. The price is trending that way. But very specific numbers, it's hard to exactly count on. What's what. It was good timing for Trey. Anyways, I'm already past when I got to go by about 10 minutes. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like this stream, subscribe to Trey's channel as well. Go show him some love, make fun of him for his computer crashing. Yeah, that's going to do it for now. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, my smooth-brained Neandronauts. That's going to do it for today in Caveman Capital.